Our top focus on GRAVITAS, one of the countries that is deeply dependent on American aid. We're talking about Ukraine. It cannot account for roughly $200 billion in U.S. aid. You heard that right. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has reportedly said that he has no idea where most of the $200 billion in American aid went. Zelensky has reportedly said Washington has provided Kyiv with just over $75 billion in military and other aid. He added that he has no idea where U.S. President Donald Trump's estimate of $200 billion came from or where it might have disappeared to. So the question being, where did the money go? It's a real mystery perhaps. Since the war started in 2022, the U.S. Congress has authorized roughly $175 billion for Ukraine. Yet, Zelensky insists that he has seen little of that cash. So what happened to the money? What explains this disparity? Is America lying? Or is Zelensky hiding something? Perhaps the deeply entrenched corruption in his country. Well, Trump, who has been highly critical of Biden's magnanimity towards Ukraine, has argued that NATO and EU, and I'm quoting here, equalize their contributions with US's support. Last month, Trump had said, and I quote, "We are in there for $200 billion more than the EU. I mean, what are we? Stupid." U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance also mentioned the figure as early as last July, saying, and I quote, "We have now spent $200 billion. What is the goal? What are we trying to accomplish?" Well, according to several media reports, Zelensky has said that Ukraine never received even half of that sum. He reportedly said that Ukraine received about $76 billion in aid, but not $200 billion. But since 2022, the U.S. Congress has reportedly authorized roughly $175 billion for Ukraine. A major portion of that funding has reportedly gone to American industries and various U.S. government activities related to the war in Ukraine. Well, according to Germany's Karl Institute, the U.S. had allocated approximately $92 billion in financial and military aid to Ukraine, while EU countries and the UK had allocated $131 billion. This is the data till October 2024. If what Zelensky is saying is true, it only adds fuel to the firestorm of corruption in Ukraine. Just last month, in an interview with US podcaster Lex Fridman, Zelensky said that Ukraine has not received even half of the $177 billion that was allocated by the US. He has rather implied that this situation may be linked to corruption or lobbying by American companies. While admitting to the problem of corruption, Zelensky noted that Kyiv is working hard to combat it through what he described as the most complex anti-corruption system in Europe. However, clearly, it is not enough. Corruption remains the top domestic issue for Ukrainians, and it is the most acute problem among all European countries. In fact, according to the annual ranking of corruption by Transparency International, Ukraine has scored poorly for decades, and there are various reasons for it, including slow post-Soviet changes in Ukraine's economy, frequent shifts in ruling groups, and also a deeply entrenched habit of seeking easy solutions to everyday issues. This high level of corruption is among the reasons why EU and NATO have not yet accepted Ukraine's NATO membership. For Western governments, the fight against corruption has been stated as a top priority. And so, since the start of the Russia-Ukraine war, scandals related to the military have surfaced, including price gouging on food supplies for the armed forces, overpriced winter gear, and an unfulfilled contract for mortar shells. These are serious crimes, especially as they affect the lives of those fighting for their country. Well, the war has only complicated the issue further, worsening the situation. This brings us back to the current situation. The lack of clarity on the missing US aid and where the $200 billion have gone is rather shocking, given the gravity of the situation and the unchecked corruption. The question being, can Kyiv's allies truly ever trust Ukraine?